I mean, just look at this picture. It is the stuff of nightmares, and actually survived 1986 by quite a few years, all the way into the 1990s. Surprising, as it was only 1,600 meters.
Tampoco, pero ya. Hello, tattoos.
I still did, yes. I still did that.
Is it order?
Okay. I mean, it's still Twitter. Okay.
But is it time? It doesn't start sooner. It doesn't go later.
Don't worry. What a thing. Oh, sorry.
I don't know what car.
Weather's nice, you feel summer coming, a huge crowd outside, you can't wait to get out there, big where you're headed. And something big on Monday as well. Our buddy, the one and only Jimmy Fallon, joins us for an exclusive announcement.
Yes, shout out to Queens, especially when you arrive via the toddler rope, which I cannot say I've ever done before. I want to acknowledge our Governor Kathy Hochul, who's here and who's been a partner in so much of this. I want to acknowledge also our Chancellor, Kamar Samuels, who's here with us. It is a pleasure to be here alongside the Early Childhood Chair in the City Council, Councilwoman Jen Gutierrez, who is here with us, our local Councilmember Shekhar Krishnan. And I also want to thank Principal Christopher Herman of the Garden School. It is a real pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having us, truly. You know, here in Jackson Heights, it takes a minute or two to walk one block as the crow flies. However, when you are walking on the toddler rope, it can take 5 minutes per block, maybe more. And because someone needs to stop and inspect 14 rocks, someone wants to touch every fire hydrant, someone won't walk further until they've seen a yellow taxi, and someone needs to debate whether or not the clouds actually look like dinosaurs. And the spoiler alert is yes, that they in fact do. But in all seriousness, when you are a parent trying to drop your child off at daycare, adding to your commute twice a day is a very long time. While universal pre-K and 3K will deliver major relief to parents, we know that our work has only just begun. For years, the demand for seats has exceeded the supply. As a result, working parents have frequently had to choose between traveling a significant distance for free childcare or spending more than $20,000 per child per year to stay closer to home. Universal childcare should mean meeting parents where they are, no matter where they live. And it is such a pleasure to be here alongside so many leaders in this fight, because just yesterday, our administration announced that we are adding 2,000 new 3K seats across 57 new zip codes citywide. This is double the number of our previous 3K expansion plan. And it's why today I'm proud to announce that we have extended 99,921 3K and pre-K offers to families across the 5 boroughs this year. I'm especially proud of the fact that we have extended offers that meet New York's families where they are. 70% of families received an offer from their top 3K choice, which is a 5% increase from last year. 85% of families received an offer from one of their top 3 choices, another 5% increase from last year. And we've also reduced the average distance between a family's home and their child care center by 1/3 of a mile, also known as somewhere between 30 minutes and an hour, or the time it takes a toddler to walk 6 blocks. That's the time that now parents will be able to have to get a cup of coffee or make it to work on time to cook dinner in the evenings a little earlier or spend a little bit more time together before bedtime. Time that will frankly add a little bit more dignity and lift a little bit more anxiety from the lives of working parents. After all, as Wiz Khalifa once said, time is money, so I went and bought a Rolex. Now, unfortunately, City Hall will not be buying parents Rolexes. We are, just coming out of our budget deficit. But we do agree that time is money, and New Yorkers deserve a lot more of it. And I want to thank our governor who's here with us today, because so much of this has been made possible thanks to the governor's commitment of $1.2 billion, investing not only in the first time in New York City history for free childcare for 2-year-olds, but also increasing the quality of childcare that we were already delivering across the city. And that is such a key part of what we're celebrating here today, because we want these improvements to serve as examples that our efforts to rebuild New York City's childcare system are working. Examples that we can make it easier to raise a child in the city you love without being forced out by rising costs and rising stress. And examples that when government understands its purpose as serving the working people who power our city, it can deliver change that working people can truly feel. Because what we are seeing today is that even for families who were placed in a program outside of their preferred options, we have, thanks to this infusion of support from the governor, been able to cut the average distance they have to travel by nearly a mile on average. That is saving them time, saving them stress. And we're going to continue working on a better city for New Yorkers, to build a city where people have the time to live the lives they deserve and to raise the families that they love. Thank you so much for being here today to celebrate this momentous day in our city's history. And I want to pass it over now to someone who really made this possible. Thank you, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Starting off the day with 3-year-olds is my idea of a good day as the grandmother of a 3-year-old. I want to thank the mayor for the invitation to join him for this very significant announcement, and people should not underestimate what this means. It is a sign of the fruition of a real commitment to partner together to deliver something that New Yorkers have dreamed about, talked about, but never had up until now. So thank you for helping us work together to make New York City, New York State, the best place in America to raise a family. And I'm committed to that. I want to thank our council members here, our principal, our chancellor once again, and all of our teams. But you think about what it takes to be a parent in this city. It is hard. It is hard. I just came out of my apartment building in Midtown and spent half the time talking to 5-month-old Molly in a stroller, realizing that her dad probably had a very small place, because all of our places are small, and raising a child there and the expenses and the stress and the worry that parents have just walking into our streets. It takes a special kind of person who says, I want to have my child raised in this vibrant, incredible place. But also, it's so darn expensive. And when you think about the fact that it's anywhere from $20,000 to $40,000 a year for childcare, if you had to cover that from birth up until kindergarten, a lot of people are starting to rethink whether or not they're even going to have families. And that to me is tragic. Tragic that you have to factor that in, that they can't afford a house or a place to live, or they can't afford, maybe they have one child, they're not going to be able to afford a second for education later. But childcare should not be on that list of worries. And that's what we're committed to. Taking that off the list and saying, we're committed to you and your families. And I'll say this, not only is it important for the family, just like my family years and years ago when we had our children and I was working in Washington for a senator, I love that job. And I never dreamed I'd have to say goodbye to it because we couldn't find affordable childcare, but that's exactly what happened. So I landed okay. I'm doing fine after having to give up a job I love, so don't worry about me. But at the time, there was so much uncertainty. You're having to go from 2 incomes to 1. To my husband working for the government, we struggled. I knew all about the coupons and buying the Pampers and the jars of baby food and all those extra costs that are there when they're little. So I want to say this. As a governor, I believe that what we can do to make New York a better place for families, but also make us more competitive nationally. Think about this. We are the #1 destination in America for college graduates. But then something happens. They start a family. It's like, I want to stay, have to move out. We do not want that to happen. We want people who want to be here to be able to afford to stay here. And so taking off that cost is going to be a help for them as a family, but also think of the businesses. If you're trying to recruit the best talent from across the country and people are evaluating where they can go, the cost of living of different cities, and they know that coming to New York City, they don't have to worry about the cost of childcare when we fully implement our vision for universal childcare across New York City and the state, we are now in a very competitive position to recruit individuals who otherwise might have said, no, I can't afford to live in New York. This is the beauty of what we're doing here, and I'm so excited about it. So the families who are doing everything they're asked to do, getting an education or getting a job and building careers, building families, they're doing everything right. We as a government have a responsibility to help lift them up at this moment. So I will not go on about being New York's first mom governor. Everybody's heard me say that 1,000 times. Thank you. New York's first mom governor. New York's first grandma governor, but it gives you a perspective. It truly does, of what those struggles were like for me. And I've cultivated this really strong sense of empathy for all the other families, a belief in them, and knowing that they will get through these days, but we are there to help them. So I wanted to say this. The budget I laid out in January helped become a culmination of a vision that I launched years ago as lieutenant governor, chairing the statewide commission on child care, but also as governor. Over the last 4 years, we have spent $8 billion from our budget to help families directly with subsidies. At one time, you had to be making $57,000 or less in order to get a child care subsidy. It is now over $108,000. Look how many more families and children we could pick up with those changes, and we're covering that cost. Building more bricks and mortar, helping subsidize renovation, people's homes, building the capacity to do what we're doing here today is to expand outward. So I made these changes, and I'll tell you, it makes a huge difference when you have a partner who shares that vision, who will say, yes, what can we do to get this done? So I was so excited to put in support for $1.2 billion in our budget to help the city out with their funding for $100 million extra to help solve the 3-year-old program, which we talked about. We talked about that last summer. But how we have to right size this, get people able to have seats in their own neighborhood and not expect them to go across the city to get a slot. So we're solving for that, and I commend you and your team for accomplishing that. We also want to make sure that statewide we have universal 4K, which we do not have everywhere, and making sure that we have programs to cover infants up through third grade as well, so up to 3-year-olds as well. So we're supportive. We're here with the money, but we're just getting started. But this is a message loud and clear for families across the country. We're going to get this done. We're not backing out. And I'm here to commit state resources, my commitment this year and beyond, to support the city, what you're doing, as well as the rest of the state, because there is no place like New York. We just want the rest of the world to know it. Thank you very much. And I had the privilege of running back up to Albany and settle some other items that are outstanding, okay? Strike's done, got to handle something else, okay? All right, great to see everybody. Thank you.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce the man who coined the phrase New York's cutest, our Chancellor, Kamar Samuels.
Well, thank you for giving me credit there, Mayor. I appreciate that. Thank you, Governor. Thank you again to Mayor Mamdani and Melis, and for their hard work and collaboration in making this possible. Thank you also to Councilmember Krishna and Councilmember Gutierrez for your support and advocacy, which is really, really important. I'm excited to be here as we announce nearly 100,000 offers to families for 3K and pre-K for the upcoming school year. That's nearly 100,000 young people who will walk through our doors to a free, high-quality early childhood program, many of them for the very first time. This year, we were able to give more families their top choices, which means their children will be in the neighborhood they know with people that they love. And as a superintendent, I worked across 2 districts. I worked in Brooklyn and Manhattan. And the number one reason I shifted to move to Manhattan was to be closer to home and have a much better commute. And so speaking of closer, every child, every seat that we added in high demand neighborhoods has a shorter commute for families. This is real time back in the hands of families every single morning. And as a dad with 3 kids, I know what mornings can look like. And I'm telling you, we want a less stressful situation for all of our families. Options that make sense and showing them that our system is working for them. We are just getting started. We can't wait to welcome all of, yes, New York's cutest to next year, showing them, especially the new ones, but also absolutely the returning ones. Thank you so much for everything you all do. I am excited to get to work.
Thank you so much, Chancellor. And now, please join me in welcoming Councilmember Jen Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good to see everyone. Good to come back home to Queens. I was raised not too far from here. Yes. And I also represent Queens. Okay. All right. But I just want to echo what so many of the folks here today have said, just how important, how valuable it is to have an administration who is backing up their promises, their commitments by putting in dollars to enhance communities zip code by zip code. As someone who was pregnant when I ran, I thought surely the village will come and help me raise this child. And the village was sparse. But today in 2026, your village is your mayor, is your city council, is your governor for the first time ever. And that is going to be transformative for our young people, for our communities. I don't know a single parent who has enrolled their child in a quality 3K education program and was disappointed or regretted it. The results are there. We know how powerful it is for these young people when they get to join their siblings at a big school, or when they get to join the rest of the kids and they get to have a curriculum and socialize. The value is undeniable. And it is such a pleasure and such a privilege to be able to be a part of government when we have phenomenal leaders who are unwavering on their commitment to getting us to universal childcare and expand these seats. The expansion of 3K and pre-K not only is reforming issues of the past, but is setting us on a new path to be real examples for the rest of the nation. So Thank you for letting me be here today. I'm so excited. I also just want to quickly recognize we have our awesome parent advocates in New Yorkers United for Childcare. The advocate community for early childcare education has been in the trenches for decades. And to see them, what I hope is for them to see these results and be proud of the work that they did and hopefully will continue to do. So thank you once again to our awesome mayor and to the principal of this school and to our great partners at City Council and all of you, the advocates. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to our council member, not only for the kindness of her words, but the nature of her leadership. And having been such a leader in the fight for universal childcare, it's such a joy now to have you here as we actually deliver on this together. It is now a great pleasure to introduce the council member of this very district, Council Member Shekhar Krishna.
Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
As the parent of 2 young children who benefited from our city's 3K and pre-K programs just a couple blocks away from here, I am thrilled to stand with Mayor Mamdani and Governor Hochul celebrating the mayor's addition of 75 new 3K seats right here in Jackson Heights. Woo. Let's give it up for that. And Mr. Mayor, we know all boroughs are equal, but we know Queens is your fave. So welcome back to Jackson Heights. I'm also thankful to be here at the Garden School with Principal Chris Herman and all of our neighbors and parents who make this school such a special place. The Garden School is one of the incredible schools in our community. And so many of the parents who bring their kids here for 3K use Paseo Park, the 26 blocks of open street right outside, as a hub for a safe and walkable pickup and drop off at 3K every day. And for me, every morning when I drop off my kids at school, the morning hustle, as we know, the chaos, right, Chancellor? We're going to talk about opening the doors, keeping the doors open longer at school so I get them on time. But I see so many parents, children, and educators on their way going through the same struggle too. And I hear every day from parents how they are struggling with the cost of groceries, rent, and raising a family right here in New York City. Childcare is one of the biggest expenses that young families face, and I know it well. A parent already has to worry about so much while raising a family. Ensuring their kids are healthy, happy, and safe, it's the foremost concern on our minds, no matter what else happens in our day. But worrying about the cost of childcare, that shouldn't be a concern on that list. And Mayor Mamdani and Governor Hochul understand that deeply. And with budget investments like this one, the mayor has shown that he will invest in our city's future, not in our fears. Because fundamentally, childcare is the foundation for a more affordable New York. Early childhood education can and should be a powerful economic engine for our city. And honestly, it's the difference between a parent taking a job and not taking one. It's the difference between a workforce that values women and mothers especially, because we know the burden of not having childcare exacerbates gender inequality in our society. Early childhood education
actually survived 1986 by quite a few years, all the way into the 1990s. Surprising, as it was only 1,600 meters
that prioritizes working families. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm proud to be here today celebrating this win for our community. And I'm looking forward to our continued work together to make New York City more affordable for everyone, for our families, and yes, especially our littlest ones. Thank you all so much.
We saw the percentage of families that received approvals for programs that were not listed on their app decrease this year. Last year it was 15%. It went down to 12% as part of these investments. And for those that were still part of that 12%, they saw the average distance decrease by about 17 blocks. And we know that this is critical because, as we've heard from both the council members, it's not just the importance of this as a program, it's also the ability to actually access this program. We've heard from families before who've said, I live in Bed-Stuy and I'm getting an offer for a center in Astoria. That doesn't mean much to me. And now we're actually starting to be able to deliver things that are closer to home so more people can actually use it.